Alright guys, here we are with the circuit. So I'm going to show you some easier options, some harder options, how to do them right and how to do them wrong. So I've got myself and one of my clients, Rob, who kindly volunteered for me to work him really hard so I can show you what might happen to your form when you get tired and certain things to watch out for. So here we are, first exercise, press ups. Legs locked, core nice and tight, elbows more 45 degrees coming away from your body. You don't want them up to your shoulders. And here is a harder option, or a more advanced option, hand clap press up. Same thing, just a little bit more explosive. Here's an easier option, bring the knees down, carry on doing the exact same stuff. Now one thing to think about once coaching point is make sure that as you take your torso down, your hips go along with you. You don't want your ass raising up into the air. And finally, make sure that this doesn't happen. You don't want your elbows coming too high because that's going to put too much pressure on the shoulders and not the chest.
That should do for them.
Alright, next one up is walkouts. Very, very simple. We're going to walk down, we're going to walk with us, hands out into our body, straightens out, tighten and brace the core, walk back, sit down into a squat and stand. As I said, this was Rob's last set, so he's showing you how tired he is, and that's how tired you should be feeling. And if your movement is a little bit impaired, then good, you are doing it correctly.
Keep it going now, Robbo, come on.
You want to work a bit harder? Add a press up into it. Simple, same thing, same exercise, just down and up. Carry on as normal. Third exercise, alternate lunges. What we're doing is making sure we're switching each leg, stepping back. The majority of your weight wants to be transferred over that front leg. So what I'm going to showcase here is how people sometimes go wrong. Sometimes people step too close together, as you can see there. I've separated Rob's feet out. Only problem is then he went a little bit too wide, so we had to correct that. But you want to make sure that if there's a gap between your feet normally, you want to stay within that range, so you're not going too close and thus then losing your balance.
Nice.
And again, if you want to make it a little bit tougher, then just go into what we call a plyometric, which is simply the same thing, you just jump in and making it a lot tougher. Right, so fourth exercise, I'm sure many of you have done this before. Doing this is to make sure that you don't fall into that hole of having the lower back hurt, because that's quite a common thing to see with planks when they aren't done correctly. What you see me try to do is tuck my tailbone under, tighten my glutes, and then here pull my shoulder blades together where the chest goes down to the floor. So providing that your back is okay, you want to ramp it up a little bit, take them feet a little bit wider, engage the core, and then alternate your arm extensions. As you'll see here, I'm trying to keep my hips square and stop them from tilting side to side, as that's something you're going to want to avoid. And if you can do that, then you're going to develop that core even further. If that's slightly too much, your hips are moving around, drop the knees down and carry on as you were. It is still working the core, you're just slightly taking some pressure off. Here you can see Rob's really starting to struggle now because he's really tired, and this is something that you're going to want to watch out for when you're doing it, and really hone in on what those hips are doing and if they're locked in. If they're not, then you drop down to your knees, which is what we ended up doing with Rob, to carry on, and he really did well.
Come on, big.
Fifth and final exercise is a static squat, and this is a good one to finish on because it's a real burner. But you know, not like I'm a sadist or anything. So what we're looking for is chest up all the way through. So down at the bottom or slightly higher, like you can see here, is a really good place to be. Now your quads are really going to feel this, you're really going to feel that burn in them quads. That's okay. One thing to think of is that you're just absorbing that pain and just move through. And rather than talking about it, I'm going to illustrate exactly how you should feel. If your face doesn't look like Rob's, then you need to do another round.
That's the one. Chest out, hips down. Nice. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Good man. Good work.